The 2-1. Lindor towards right center field. This one is back. It is gone! Grand slam! And Lindor puts the Mets on top. The biggest swing of the season for New York.
3-second differential. Shot clock, game clock. Shot clock down to 5. Here's Towns from 3. It's gone! Karl Anthony Towns with the dagger. 3-point field goal.
Knicks regain their composure. Towns, deep 3-ball with the sweep.
What up, everybody? What up, Knicks Nation? It is your boy, David from Top Bunk Sports, and I'm here back with a New York City basketball video. And today we're going to be talking about the positives from the Milwaukee Bucks win and then the negatives from the Detroit Pistons loss. Now, granted, today, as I'm recording this video on January 15th, 2025, we play the Philadelphia 76ers at Philadelphia. So that game starts at 7 o'clock. So for those of you that watch this video as it drops, be in tune for that. But we will be discussing just a little bit about the positives from the Milwaukee Bucks game that we won and our last game, which was on Monday, where we took a L to the savvy Detroit Pistons team. Now, with the Milwaukee Bucks game, a lot was being looked at in terms of the energy of the team, how they were going to start out, where the energy was going to come from, who was going to lead the way. And, of course, it took our captain, Jalen Brunson, right? Jalen Brunson led the way. He had 23 points in the first quarter. So you already know he was 23 points in the first quarter. He was going off. The momentum was there. The adrenaline was there. I mean, the guys needed something to wake up and be like, yo, we need to get this shit going. I mean, listen, it took Josh Hart to come out and basically say, like, yo, we got to put individual agendas aside and really focus on, as a team, what the fuck we're going to do. That again, at the end of the day, it takes one of your veteran guys to come out and be like, yo, I'm not calling nobody out specifically because there's no need to right now. There's no need to. There's going to be people that are going to be like, listen, OG Anunoby. Listen, I am a huge proponent of OG Anunoby. He needs to be on this team. For what he does on both sides of the ball, he needs to be on this team. We've seen what he could do when he's at his best. There's a reason why he's getting paid $212 million fucking dollars, right? OG Anunoby right now looks like he has no energy to play whatsoever. He's acting like Julius Randle. He's not playing like Julius Randle. He'll never play like Julius Randle because nobody wants to play like Julius Randle, right? But in terms of body language, the last two games, I would say, he's kind of looked a little bit off. Now, I don't know. It's because they haven't involved him as much. And yes, he has not really scored that much. He hasn't really been in his vibe. Like, you could tell he hasn't really been the dominant scorer that we've known him to be. But at the same time, it's like, dude, where's the, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's gotten a lot of touches. And that's where my confusion lies when it comes to OG Anunoby. But with everybody else, right? Cat's been going off, Jalen Brunson's been going off, of course. Those are your two main sources. Those are your two best players, right? Mikal has been up and down. And a lot of the criticism kind of falls on Mikal just because it's like, dude, we traded 7 first-round picks for you. You're supposed to be better than what we've seen. That kind of worries me going into the playoffs because now it's like, what Mikal are we going to get in every game of the playoffs when we go in? So now you have that, right? Josh Hart has been phenomenal. Josh Hart, listen, for as much as what this fan base has given him since we traded for him in 2023, Josh Hart has been phenomenal. Josh Hart has been clutch in terms of offense, in terms of defense, in terms of hustling, in terms of grabbing key rebounds, in terms of making big shots. Like, you can't ask for more. I mean, he's been on a double tear the last couple of games. I can't get mad. I can't say nothing negative about Josh Hart. However, after what we went through against OKC, you needed to kind of ask yourself, like, yo, who's going to send the tone? Who's going to step up? Who's gonna go out there and who's really gonna set the tone for this game tonight? And it was Jalen Brunson. It was Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson at the end of the day said, "Yo, I'm the captain. I gotta take responsibility for everything that goes on around here." I mean, I have people on this fan base talking about, "Yo, let's trade him for De'Aaron Fox." I got people in this fan base talking about, "Yo, he's a six man with special privileges." Yes, his dad is an assistant coach. Yes, his godfather is Leon Rose, if I'm not mistaken. Like, yes, he's got it like that. Cool. But that brother could ball, man. That like, and I know people are gonna be like, yo, for the people that said that, we never said that he couldn't ball. That brother could ball, man. That brother is deserved of a starting point guard spot. Like, that's what it is. It's just that's not what their choice was, right? So that's the issue. But when we played the Bucks, he scored 44 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. He was 16 of 26 from the field, 1 steal, 5 of 10 from 3, and he made 7 of 8 free throws. The tone setter. That's what it was. Cat went 30 points, 4 assists, 18 rebounds, 10 of 16 from the field, 1 steal, 2 of 5 from 3, 8 of 9 with 8 of 9 of free throws made. Josh Hart, double-double, 4 assists, 5 of 5 from the field. You can't ask for much, man. OG Anunoby, not so much of a good game, like I said. 11 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound, 5 of 12 from the field. Not what you need from OG Anunoby, considering what you know he can give you offensively. This plays it when it comes to the whole OG and Anunoby thing, and I don't want to stick on just one guy because we're trying to break down on how these games are going. The whole thing with OG and Anunoby, I think it's not his fault in per se, because the ball really doesn't move that much. If you guys have watched what I've been saying on X for the past couple of months, or for the past month or so, I've been preaching that the ball movement needs to be more consistent. It's not like that. And we've seen that when there is ball movement, the Knicks play really well. When everything is stagnant and everybody's just trying to feed for themselves, Knicks are not going nowhere. And that's been the issue since, I would say, since Randall came here, right? It was always Randall really wasn't like, he was ball dominant, you know what I'm saying? And that's not a bad thing. There are players in this league that have become successful being ball dominant, but for what you have and what you've been able to do, you kind of need to be able to move the ball better. And when you're not moving the ball better, and you're just basically, like I say, you're stagnant. And if you're not, even if, like, the only way you're allowed to be stagnant in the league is if you're on fire. Like, that's the only way you could be like, nah, give this man the ball. Let this shit go through him because he's on fire right now. He can't be stopped. But if nobody's really catching any fire, nobody's been able to really score consistently by themselves, move the ball. Have this ball. Everybody needs to have a touch, and everybody needs to score all at once. It can't just be one guy if they're not catching heat at the right time. So I think with OG Anunoby is guys like Cat, guys like Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges at certain times. Those three are basically your top scorers, and then it's OG Anunoby. That when one of those guys gets hot, OG really doesn't score that much because the ball is not really moving to him at a consistent pace. You basically just, whenever he gets to score, he's in an ISO. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never, there are never plays drawn for him where he can go out there and go get a bucket. It's never a situation where the ball is moving consistently and you find him in the corner, because he is a really good three-point shooter. Like, you can't deny that. That's one of the main things we spoke about when he was traded here. He's a really good defender. He's a really good wing. Him and Mikal, that's why they call him the wing stop. But when the ball doesn't find him, there's no way to get consistent scoring. There's no way to be able to dominate like we know he can. So when your three top scorers in Cat, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges are all scoring, and OG's kind of left out, then people want to talk about, well, OG hasn't been the same. That's because the ball's not moving. You know what I'm saying? Like the ball is not moving at a consistent pace where he can score when he wants to. That's why a lot of times when he gets the ball, he's not giving up the rock. He's going to the basket. He's going to try to score on you. Unless he's at the corner and the ball is moving well to where you find him at the corner or you find him at the wing and he's able to dribble the ball. He's able to put the ball on the floor, right? Or shoot the ball. You know, drive in or shoot. That's literally all he's going to be doing, besides, you know, playing really good defense. So that's the thing with OG and Anunoby. But other than that, he didn't need to be a factor to go beat the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks at the end of the day, they're a fourth seed. They have been playing solid basketball as of late, but the Knicks have always had their number. Going back to even the Christmas game. Not the Christmas game. Excuse me. When we played them earlier, we really didn't have a problem with them. So that really wasn't a shocker to me. I mean, Giannis had his moment, but that was it. Guys like Chris Middleton, they really weren't scoring at a consistent rate. That basically the only Bobby Portis was okay. The only guy that was really scoring for Milwaukee was Giannis. So that really wasn't a problem. I mean, as a team, the Knicks really weren't that bad. I mean, they shot 58% from the field, which is pretty solid. They were 20 and 24 from free throws, 34-49 from two pointers, and then they were 18 and 41 from three, which is not good. But considering the fact that the Knicks were, like I said, it was mostly Jalen Brunson dominating. There was really nothing to really say about that. The Knicks are still, like I said, the Knicks are still struggling from three. That needs to be fixed at some point. As a team, they just suck when it comes to shooting threes. But hey, what can I say? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if guys are getting to the basket, guys are going in, they're going in hard in the paint, and you see that the three ball is not falling for you, change it up. Don't rely on that same thing that hasn't been falling all game. They beat the Bucks by a score of 140-106, and at some point, when you watch that game, you're like, okay, conference rival, fourth seed, so they're behind us. They're still trying to play for something. Let's make sure that we take one game at a time and just get our energy back. So to put out a performance like that, it was kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it felt good because you're like, all right, listen, whatever happened against OKC is whatever happens. Yeah, it doesn't change the fact that we can't beat teams over 500 in terms of, like, you know, teams like that, like top teams like OKC, but we're able to play our style of basketball, which we haven't, because for some reason when we play teams like OKC, we just fall out of our element, and that's been the key issue since day one. They were able to play their style of basketball. They were able to play rugged basketball, play solid defense. They've been a very good defensive team all year, and they got a win column at home. That was needed. But then you move on to this Detroit Pistons basketball game. And boy, let me tell you, that was not easy to watch. And I'm going to tell you why. Shout out to the Detroit Pistons, man. 21-19. JB Bickerstaff has got that team playing hard. I don't know what went on with Monty Williams when he was there, but for some reason, they picked up veterans like Tim Hardaway Jr. and Michael Beasley, and they just went the fuck off. Cade Cunningham is playing the best basketball he's ever played. Isaiah Stewart is everywhere on that court. I mean, there's a lot of guys on Knicks Twitter that actually want Isaiah Stewart. Now, I'm not saying that in terms of be like, are you serious? Dude's whack. He's not whack. The guy hustles. He grabs boards. He has fucking attitude. I mean, shit, when the game was over on Monday, he was doing this with his jersey right in front of Jalen Brunson. And Jalen Brunson just looked back and didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a notion that the New York Knicks are pussies, which I don't think so. But there's a certain level of like professionalism that they're carrying. So that's the only way I look at it. I would have been pissed. I would have been on some like, yo, do that shit again. I'm gonna knock your ass out. I'll take the fine. Because right now we getting bitched the last couple of games and we ain't do shit about it. Trae Young shit, we ain't do shit about it. Motherfuckers been talking about how he disrespected on us on our court, and oh, it's understandable because he's just looking for attention. I don't give a fuck. Trae Young has been the center of attention when it comes to Knicks enemies, and for him to go ahead and do that on our logo, we the New York Knicks, motherfucker. We don't take that shit. So if I was on the Knicks and I was a player, I would have went straight up to Trae Young. Like, don't ever do that shit again. Yeah, you beat us. Go to Vegas. Whatever. Cool. Go compete for that NBA tournament. I better see you on the motherfucking regular playoffs when we get there, right? But I don't take that shit. Like I understood. I sympathize with those people that are calling the Knicks soft because I don't sympathize with that. Like that's you doing that on the court. Come on. That's like spitting on our logo and then wiping your feet all over it. No, I don't fuck with that. But that's a whole different conversation. Detroit played like it was their playoff game, and they succeeded. And it showed how well and savvy this fucking team is. For one thing, let's look at the Pistons stats, right? Cade Cunningham had 36 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 14 of 27 from the field, 1 steal. He was 4 from 8 from 3. 4 from 4 from they made 4 out of his 4 free throws attempts. But the brother was everywhere. He's 6'8". He's got a long wingspan. He's a point guard that can shoot, but he's got a really good IQ for a point guard. And again, the Detroit has some. Listen, they got a special kid. They have a special fucking kid, man. They really do. I'm more like, again, I'm not saying that to be like, yo, we maybe we gotta go ahead and trade Jalen Brunson. That's not what I'm saying. But Detroit has somebody where they can start. Like they can start at a solid pace with that guy. That's their tone setter. You see how I brought up Jalen Brunson as a tone setter in the beginning of when I mentioned about the Bucks and the Knicks. He's their tone setter. Now he's got the vets behind him and Michael B and Beasley and Tim Hardaway Jr. to guide him into decision making, into how to step up his game a little bit better, how to shoot the ball better with confidence. And again, it's not to say he never had confidence, but those vets are there to help you to just be a better player than you are now. That Detroit has something special. Excuse me. Excuse me. It's there, man. It's there. And by the way, since this is mid video, and like I said, we got a game today. Towns is out, and Sims will be available. Interesting about Sims, man. He's excuse me. He's been involved in a lot of trade scenarios. I mean, the recent one. Shout out to the Knicks recap, who was covering this. The recent one has been with him and Jonas Valanciunas from the Washington Wizards. And according to recap, his trade value has been low. But they've been saying that if the Knicks do pick him up, which I'm not so happy about. I don't like Jonas Valanciunas. I mean, he does add size a little bit. He's sort of a rim protector, but he's not he don't really move the needle for me. I'm better off with Mitch if that's the case. I think, I mean, if you want to consider who's healthier, it's obviously Valanciunas, but I'm better off with Mitch. I think he's a way better rim protector than fucking Jonas Valanciunas. But this goes into a conversation that I've wanted to have for a long time in terms of Tom Thibodeau and what he's doing with his guys. Jericho Sims is not getting a lot of playing time, so when he's not getting a lot of playing time and you're kind of wondering like, yo, what the fuck is he doing with his bench? Because he's running out campaign. He's running out Precious Achua. He's not really playing Tyler Kolek. He's not really playing the other kid from French. He's not really playing Huckaporty. Like, what are those guys there for? You know what I'm saying? Like, even Sims. Like, what the fuck is Jericho Sims there for? Yes, he has no post game to at all. Like, he can't post up. He doesn't have a post game at all. Got it. Neither does Mitchell Robinson. But they still offer rim protecting, and I bring that a lot because that's what they are. They're rim protectors, right? They offer that. They offer size. And these guys need to. Jericho Sims has seen the most out of anybody besides Deuce McBride. That's it. Like, if you take away Deuce McBride, if you take away Campaign, you take away Precious Achua, out of everybody else on the other side with Kolek and Huckaporty, he has seen the most consistent time on the court. But it's like, dude, we talk about the bench is thin. Use some of these guys, man. Who gives a fuck if they're rookies and they don't have experience? Let these guys go through it so they understand, so they get it past them. Westchester Knicks ain't really gonna do much for them, man. It's not. I'm sorry. It's not. Not everybody can find success out of that, man. And it's a fact. It's a fact. It's not gonna. I don't understand. I don't know what the G League is really gonna do for them. Yes, that's the system that they got to go through when they first get to the league. Unless you're a high draft pick, right? Like, look at Bronny. Bronny was drafted 55 in the second round, but they got him in the G League. Why? So he can work on his game a little bit better. That's what they're doing with these guys, right? But at some point, if they're still up here and they're not gonna fucking play, like, there's a reason as to why our bench is the way it is, because certain guys are not playing. Let these guys go through their pressure moments. Let them go through it, because when they get past that, they already know what they got to do. That's all I've been saying. Like, everybody keeps thinking, listen, that's been my thing with Tibbs, man. Who gives a fuck if you don't trust them, brother? How do you build trust if you're not gonna put these guys in? How do you build that type of consistency for these kids if you don't put them in? You put Kolek in after Kolek dropped fucking 40 points in the Westchester game the same fucking day, right? Shocking, because I would have never thought that Tibbs would have did that shit, but he did it. So why can't these other guys? Why can't Huckaporty or the other kid from French? And excuse me if I'm saying that, because I can never say his name right. I don't want to mess up his name, and fucking just butcher it on a recording. But these kids have talent, man. Fucking Jacob Toppin has talent. Let's see what this brother could give you, man. Like, let these kids play, let these kids eat. Yes, there's rookies, and yes, there's time for them to succeed and really do what they got to do. Cool. But let them do what they have to do. I don't understand why Tibbs can't just put them out there. Like, and again, people are going to talk about, you're not going to put these young kids over the veterans that are here. They don't have to fucking play every day. They don't have to play every day. They could have played Sunday. They could have played a little bit earlier on Sunday, and not time game. I'm talking about, you could have put them in the third quarter. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to play them against the Pistons, cool. You didn't have to play against the Pistons. But let's see what they do tonight against Philadelphia. Let's see what they do in the second quarter against Philadelphia. Maybe in the last minute of the third quarter, depending on how the game is. But let these guys get some consistent minutes, man. You owe it to them, because you don't have the bench that's consistent right now. Everybody's talking about, yo, they need bench piece. They need bench piece. You have good young bench pieces right here. They want to go out and trade for another bench piece? Be my guest. If those guys are going to be put in that trade, be my guest, because that helps our bench. That helps us, because we need bench help. But at the same time, we keep saying that, yet certain guys are not being played. Just play them right now. See what they could give you. That's been my point with that. But with this whole Detroit thing, man, it's young kids after young kids that are just gaining time. Even Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris had a sucky game. But you talk about a veteran who's been there and who knows that. Like, he's been in the playoffs. He knows what pressure is all about. to come in and to give these guys that type of, these young guys that type of knowledge. Listen, it could work. I mean, listen, if Detroit plays the way that they're playing right now, man, that's a playing team. That is a playing team. So with this game, man, they shot 50%, both teams shot 50% from the field, right? And fine and dandy. That's fine and dandy. But Jalen Brunson, again, another solid performance, 31 points, 11 assists, right? So he has ranked up his assists more than with last game, right? 4 rebounds, 12 of 24 from the field, 1 steal. He sucked from 3. That hurt. He was 1 of 7 from 3. That I don't know what happened there. But then Mikal Bridges woke up. 27 points, 9 of 13 from the field, 6 of 8 from 3, 3 of 3 free throws made. Karl-Anthony Towns, 26 points, 3 assists, 12 rebounds, 7 of 17 from the field, could be better, 1 steal, 4 of 9 from 3, 8 of 10 free throws made. Josh Hart, 12 points, 5 assists, 14 rebounds, 3 of 5 from the field, right? You had OG Anunoby, 10 points, 5 of 9 from the field. So again, certain guys, mostly the main guys, doing what they got to do. But that Detroit Pistons game, especially, excuse me, that last couple seconds in the fourth quarter, where the Knicks were coming back, right? They weren't leading the entire game. Detroit kind of had them the entire way through. Up until that fourth quarter, they were getting there. And it got to a point where you looked at certain guys and you're like, who's going to take over? Jalen Brunson, again, put the team on his back. Mikal Bridges, six 3-pointers, put the team on his back. Karl-Anthony Towns, being able to not only, he wasn't settling for his 3. He was pump faking, getting to the basket. You know what I'm saying? Off the dribble, trying to score off the dribble, trying to get easy points. Guys were able to create. The ball movement wasn't there yet. It was still dead. But guys were able to create off the dribble, and they were able to get back in this game. However, defensively, we absolutely fucking suck. The amount of threes that this team gave up to the Detroit Pistons just because we could not guard that perimeter is horrible. Got to a point where, if I'm not mistaken, we had about 40-something seconds left. Don't quote me on that, but 40-something seconds left. For some odd reason, it might have been closer, because by the time that 3 was hit, this game was over. It was probably like 20-something seconds, 15 seconds when Malik Beasley hit that 3 in the corner. For some reason, the Knicks decide to double Cade Cunningham. Right. The ball, Cade ends up passing it out the double team, gets to Tim Hardaway Jr. I forgot who went to go pick up Tim Hardaway Jr., but he was not shooting the rock at a consistent pace at all. Malik Beasley, however, was shooting us out the fucking game the entire night. Tim Hardaway, instead of settling for that 3 at the top of the key, makes the extra pass. And who's wide open right there in the corner towards the wing? Malik fucking Beasley. And he makes the shot. Puts the dagger in this fucking game. If I'm Tom Thibodeau, I'm saying, I'm letting Tim Hardaway Jr. shoot that ball. Because they're gonna go for a 3. Or not even. They're not even gonna go for a 3, but they're gonna try to create a shot off the dribble. Not letting Malik Beasley shoot us out the game. He's been deadly from 3 that entire fucking game. Deadly, right? I'll tell you right now, Malik Beasley I'm gonna tell you his stat. 22 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds, 7 to 3 from the field. He made 6 of 8 threes. 6 threes. That brother was lethal all game. You mean to tell me that you guys leave him wide fucking open? I would have made sure that we were doubling Malik. Not even doubling. I mean, I would have played him halfway. And you don't have to double him completely. But he should have not been that comfortable in the corner in the game time, in the game decision like that. So he pops one in our face, puts a dagger in this game, and we fucking lose the game to the Detroit Pistons. That is, again, defensively, this team is just lost, and it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. And it's on games where they're losing, man. Where they're losing, because when they're winning, they play their best fucking defense. They play their best fucking defense. And it's like, yo, where has this team been defensively every single night? But when they're losing and they're losing bad, or they're losing in close situations where they're trailing, yo, they can't play. Or when they're trailing and they're coming back and they're right there, yo, they can't play a lick of defense. They can't. They can't. And in that situation, I'm wondering to myself, why the fuck are they doubling Cade Cunningham? Yes, he was cooking 36 points. Got it. But I'm not letting that brother's not going to shoot a 3. He's not going to shoot a 3. I'm sorry. He's not shooting a 3. He's going to try to get to his mid-range and shoot. Malik Beasley, on the other hand, was wide open in the fucking corner. He was going to shoot that bitch anyways. It just made no sense to me. So we lose a heartbreaker. And again, I could give you all the stats in the world, but number one, everybody saw how that shit ended. That was the most important thing of the fucking game. You know what I'm saying? So it took another attempt of Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns with a side of Mikal Bridges finally, because we all know how inconsistent he is. It took them to, put the Knicks back in it. Josh Hart to a certain extent. Campaign to a certain extent, which, I know Campaign gets a lot of hate, but he's been a solid piece off the bench. I appreciate Campaign for what he's done so far. But it's like, dude, when are we going to play smart on defense, man? Like, we got to be better at protecting the perimeter on defense. Literally. Because guys will shoot us out the game, and every time we get shot out the game, the Knicks look dead, bro. The Knicks look dead. 7 o'clock today, the Knicks will they will play the 76ers. They're in Philly right now. Karl-Anthony Towns is out. A lot of guys are out from the 76ers, including Joel Embiid. Paul George, and I think Tyrese Maxey as of right now are questionable. So we'll see how that plays out. So I think the Knicks should be able to catch a W today. Let's see how that plays out. Let's see what Jericho Sims does. But, man, it's a bit of a concern, man, because you don't know how this team is going to fish out when the playoffs come. It could be a total 180 where they're playing like this now, and then when the playoffs come, they're just on a hot streak. You never know. That's the funny thing about sports. But we play the 76ers today, and then we obviously come back home to play the Timberwolves on Friday. That's Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo's return to the Garden since the trade. But 7 o'clock game against the 76ers. Hopefully this team turns it up defensively. Hopefully they had a conversation. They had a meeting that losses like that can't happen again, because that was a heartbreaker. The Knicks are better than the Pistons, man. You can't be losing to the Pistons team. Yeah, they're solid. They might make the play-in this year, but you're better than them. You're a 3 seed, man. I know sports is sports, but the way you guys play your basketball, they can't compete with y'all. And they basically just they showed out. They showed out in a must-win game for them. And it was a must-win game for the Knicks too. But for them, it's more of a playoff game than it is for us. And they beat you at your home again. Got to be better, man. Got to be better. But I will catch you guys on the next NYC basketball video, man. Hopefully it's about, most likely it would be about the Timberwolves game on Friday. I'll probably incorporate what we see from this game tonight against the 76ers. But, obviously a lot of talk about Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo making their return to the Garden. So hopefully I'll have a video out for you guys by then about that. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you for the support. Follow me at Top Bunk Sports. Like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. That will be in the description. Appreciate you guys. And I will see you guys on the next